Hi, I'm Jen Gallacher. Welcome to another Memories Made video. In today's scrapbooking process layout, we're going to create kind of a nautical theme for our page. And I've taken a piece of 8.5, or rather 12 by 12 paper from Echo Park and cut it down to 8.5 by 11. And it's an older paper from them, from their dots collection. Basically what you're looking for is just a polka dot or a tone-on-tone navy blue. And I'm going to be mixing and matching in some different manufacturers, and I just made sure that they coordinated together. To the bottom of the layout, I have some crepe paper that has a red kind of diamond shape to it. You can see the pattern here. It's not from a Nautical collection, but I really loved the cream background as well as those kind of open diamond design. I'm going to take some red pattern paper. This is from Cartabella. This is from a Nautical collection of theirs, and it's a beautiful collection. It's printed on heavyweight textured paper, and I will link you to all of these elements in the video description on YouTube so you can find all of them. We're going to be using this particular die cuts ephemera piece from their Yacht Club collection. That is the name of that Nautical collection. And a lot of the collection inspired the colors that I selected here. And what I'm doing is I'm using my paper trimmer, and I'm only going to use the bottom half of this ephemera piece. And you could easily use this for another project, so just save it. Or if you're not a saver, go ahead and toss it. Just tuck this right under here, and I'm using the lines actually in the pattern paper to help me easily align here across the top. And then to dress it up a little bit further, I have some red tape, and I don't know who it's from, believe it or not, but I will link you to tape that is similar in style or another option in the supply list below. And start that over again. Nice thing with these tape things is if you mess it up, there's gobs and gobs. There's usually like 12 yards on some of these tapes. So don't worry about ripping it or messing it up like I keep doing here. One more try. Sometimes this happens when your tape is really thin. So don't be so aggressive like I'm being today. So we'll just place this along the bottom half here and rip off enough that I can tuck it behind, and then I'll rip it kind of at a messy end on the other side just to create some interest there. Now let's build a couple of layers here at the bottom. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the chipboard stickers from Yacht Club, and you can see here I've left the backing on because I was kind of figuring out where I wanted to put it. Another technique that you can use is to use baby powder on the back side, the sticky side, or you can even place it on a piece of felt and tap it down a few times, and this will remove the stickiness. You would then need to add stickiness in some form to it on the back. I'm adding some crochet twine or just white twine to the tag to give it a little bit more of an authentic look. And it likes to stick to that back, so just make sure that it stays out a little bit. And we're going to align this with the bottom of the page. You want to pull out that bow so it's not stuck behind there. Then I'm going to take this seafood chipboard piece. Again, I left the backing on so I could kind of get a feel for where I wanted it. And I'm going to place it on top of the tag, but a little bit more on the right side. And you can see this visual cluster that's happening here. And then we're going to take some navy enamel dots, and we're going to create a row of these dots just down the side here, and I'm trying to make sure the very center of those dots, if I was using a straight edge, that it could go right down the center of those dots. So that's how I lined them, and that just creates some texture there. To the top of the page, we're going to do some more building of the page. And I'm going to kind of place everything on the page the way that I want it before I stick it down. This will help you see a little bit how I kind of build my layers a little bit. So I'm going to use a bingo card from Jelly Bean Soup, a white doily, I just want to make sure that you can still read the word bingo. We're going to use a frame. I believe this is a We Are Memory Keepers frame. It's just a paper frame. And then I've die cut the title. And this helps me realize I need to move this down just a smidge more. But I've die cut the word beach using a manual die cut. And this is also from the Yacht Club collection. This is how the die comes, and then you open it up and then your metal die is stuck inside here. And I just use the word beach. You could also use the rest of the die cut on your layout. It would be really, really cute. And then this sea star would also be darling. But I've just die cut it actually from some pattern paper that has a solid red on one side and pink on the other. So again, just kind of getting a feel for the layers here. What I did is I went and shopped all my supplies and tried to find a bunch of different kind of blue elements and red elements and brought them all together. So now that I'm kind of seeing the placement here, I'm going to leave the beach at the top here, so that will help remind me where the bingo card needs to go. And we'll place that down first. And then for the beach word, I'm going to use the back side of this photo paper and a glue pen. I love the look of a die cut title. I don't know why I love them so much, but I actually use them even more than I use them, or rather use letter stickers. I think I like it because with a die cut phrase, it's just, you can pick one that fits the style of the page so easily. I thought it would be cute to have a title that says Beach Bingo. It's kind of a clever way to do a title, is to add some elements, whether it's letter stickers or a die cut title here, and then marry it to another piece. Did you know my ephemera gets married sometimes? But it does. I try and think, can two elements go together to create something a little more dynamic? And then I have these little tags, and I don't remember who these are from, but I will try and link you to all these things or to some similar items if these are no longer in stock. Some of my stuff is quite old, and I'm just finding a way to use them now, which is good. And we're just going to add these tags behind this bingo card. That will bring in a little bit of red over here. Plus flags make me think of like a nautical looking thing. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this photo, and I chose a photo that had a predominantly light background because there's so much going on this page, and I didn't want it to distract from the photo I was using. And so I picked a lighter photo. Another option would be to go with a black and white photo. And I'm just going to place this right on top. And the reason why this has a white border around it is because I printed it at home. And then I rather lazily only cut the part I needed to. If you find that when you place the frame on top, you still have a little edge that's sticking off, what I'll do is I'll take my scissors, and then using the edge as the guide, I slip the scissors right beneath that top edge. So it's cutting from the bottom but not the top, and I trim off that extra piece. Let's go ahead and add the doily next. And before I get that all the way onto the page, we're going to place some red twine. And I've wrapped it around my fingers a couple of times, and then we're just going to staple it to the page. And how we're going to do that, looks like I have two doilies. That's one thing you want to check when you're using doilies. Sometimes they have more than one doily actually sticking together, so just make sure you get two. And then I'm going to put some of the twine really close together. And I'm going to staple that before I place that doily on my page. And be careful, doilies are really fragile. So it's just a teeny, teeny, tiny little piece. And I think I'm going to add one more staple so that it doesn't move. And these staples are going to be covered by the frame, but you wouldn't have to necessarily do that. If you like the look of the staples, put them a little closer together and then you can show them on your page. So once I have that down, then I can add my frame. Because it's just a paper frame, I'm just using my dot runner adhesive from American Crafts. It sticks just fine. Then I have a tab in red that is also from the same company that made those little red flags. And although the tabs are made to be folded over and stuck down, I like to cut off only the part I'm going to use and then save the rest for later. I'm not going to place a word on this particular one. It's going to serve as a foundation for this other tag that's from the Yacht Club ephemera pack. And this just creates a little bit more dimension because then you have the red, the blue, and the cream, which all appear on the page. And you could add a date stamp here, you could add a word sticker, whatever works. Let's add some more of our ephemera pieces. And you can see that these are double-sided. I really, really love these packs from Jelly Bean Soup. I just got the red one today because I loved them so much. And then I'm going to add this 20 cents one above. Again, I tried to pick items that were blue. Now, one thing that I wanted to do to kind of marry all the elements together is I picked a thematic chipboard piece from the Yacht Club chipboard stickers. Now, with a big piece like this, even though it's a sticker, because sometimes pages get manhandled, that ephemera loses, or rather the chipboard loses its stickiness sometimes. So just to make sure it stays for a long time, I have added some additional glue dots to it. And I just want to cover that bottom edge and slightly cover my photo, and that way everything's kind of starting to come together. The next thing that I'm going to add are two wooden pieces. These are from Fancy Pants, from a Nautical collection from them. And I wanted to just add some more texture. We can tie it to the whale. You could put it above, wherever you want. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the whale with some twine. And even though I've used red up here, I'm going to use some more of the white thread. It's a little bit thinner. It's just kind of a little bit easier to manipulate. So to adhere them together, place one piece on top of the other. They already have pre-drilled holes. Then you can thread the twine through it, and I'm actually going to tie just a single knot to the two pieces. Then I will place the thread around the bottom of that whale's fin. And you could tie it as tightly or as loosely as you want. And either double knot it, or when you're done tying the bow, use some glossy accents to place a bead of glue right in the middle of that bow. And that will help that bow stay tied forever and ever. That's a trick Jennifer McGuire taught me. And I'll just cut off the excess pieces of that twine. And then I'll also come down here on the bottom and cut a little bit of the twine off the tag. And now we can add some journaling to the page. To write the journaling, I'm just going to use a zig pen. And I'm going to use the lines that are already on the actual ephemera piece to write it out. And I don't necessarily love my handwriting, but I do think it's important from time to time to actually incorporate it into your layouts. You can always ask your kids to use theirs as well. So after you finish the journaling, you can add, and I'm going to add from a sticker sheet from Simple Stories. These are clear stickers. Again, any word stickers, a date stamp, whatever you want. I'm going to add the sticker, Here We Go, and it did have a little arrow on it, but I just cut it off. It didn't go with this tag. It's too long for this tag. So here you have a layout that incorporates a lot of different nautical elements to create a layout about my daughter at the beach. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on my scrapbooking process videos. Take a moment to visit jengallacher.com for additional inspiration, including workshops, printables, card videos, tutorials, and more.